I don't have a sleeveless Pink Floyd shirt, man.
You should.
Totally
Everybody
jealous of that.
Hey, dude, I found it. Get this. I found this shirt for such a steal.
Yeah.
It was $4.99 on clearance.
Brilliant.
Wow, that is a great deal.
Yeah, so I was just like, cool. And you know what? I've been really, I guess this has been my experience, is that I've been really loving tank tops as of late. You know, I feel my arms are, they're not, the muscles are not too muscly.
Okay. Let it all hang out, man.
It's just, you know, it's getting there that I have, you know, good arms now.
So you're swimming a lot, right?
I'm doing a lot of swimming, so I'm doing all that.
Your arms. That's cool.
Yeah. Welcome into the Tortoise The Hare experience. We kind of just went into it as we did hear the song Fanatic
right on.
by Dave Schulz, which you can find at daveschulzmusic.com. We'll talk to you in just a moment, but I just shared my experience. What has been your experience?
Oh, well, let's see. I'm knocking things over here on set.
She's already drunk. We already finished this.
I know.
Bottle.
It's true. Well, as you know, I don't drink. So for me, having a half a glass of champagne, I'm already like, woohoo, and I haven't eaten today, so I'm, you know, like, but it is a special day.
Right.
It is our 1 year anniversary of the Tortoise and Hare experience, and we want to mention, because we haven't on the last two segments, that we want to thank Mark Doty and Miguel for allowing us the use of this amazing studio, NoHo 2 Studios in North Hollywood.
And we do have a special guest photographer. We got Denim Dan shooting photos. So usually we don't do a lot of photos, but today we are, and all that because of Denim Dan. So thank you so much.
And he's an amazing archivist. Right? Is that would that be the proper word?
One of the many terms to describe Dan.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. One of his many.
I think that's an awesome term. Denim Dan.
Spiritual advisor is the other one
yes.
as well.
Light.
I've already been enlightened for 2 hours I've been here. So.
I love it.
That's right.
What has been your experience? You're a little drunk?
No, I am drunk.
Getting ready to be taken advantage of?
I'm not drunk. I'm a little happy. I'm happy.
Right.
Yeah. Which is good because I'm a little bit in pain, so it's lightening it up a little.
This is a good thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Dave, would you like to share with us an experience?
Recently or
can
I span 10 years ago?
You can span 10 years.
You can do whatever you want. You're on the couch.
Strange experience. One time Spinal Tap is one of my all-time favorite mockumentaries, and Christopher Guest was one of my heroes, you know. And I remember meeting him at a Goo Goo Dolls show in '99 I think it was in Boston. But anyways, he comes down, I'm like, oh my God, it's Nigel Tufnell. Holy shit, Nigel Tufnell. He goes, I got a little suggestion for you. Why don't you call it the Goo Dolls? One more goo. One more goo.
That's funny.
And I'm like, all right.
An extra goo.
We wrote it down. That's my one experience, but Christopher Guest.
It's not goo goo.
They haven't adapted that formula
Why is it
yet.
better?
I don't know. Why not one more goo? It's like one more
better.
black, one more goo.
One better. It's not 10, it's 11.
That's not really an experience. It's more like a funny thing that happened.
Yeah.
I got about a billion of those
Well, what was your
moments.
experience this weekend? Because I know that you were out playing this weekend. Did you have anything
exciting? I played about 12 hours of music in front of drugged out casino crowd gambling addicts who didn't even watch us for 2 days. Yeah. But that's what we do for money in this business.
Well, let me ask you about
Snapshot.
that. Let me ask you about that, about the whole casino.
I'm not putting it down.
Because my brother is he's a restaurateur.
Yeah.
And he was working at a Ruth Chris.
Mm-hmm.
He's general manager of Ruth Chris in a casino, and he really hated it. He said the class of people are so low, and he was furious, and and he left.
I won't say anything about the class of people because I might lose my gig.
Right. Well.
But I will say that if you're in a band, I mean, first off, I like to play music, period. I don't care whether it's low on the totem pole or at Madison Square Garden. I just love playing. So to me, the act of playing music is always a beautiful experience. Mm-hmm. But if you want to just look at it on a strictly entertainment level, we kicked ass, but no one would have known the difference. Because, cha-ching, cha-ching. It's addicts. We're in the middle of the floor. And nobody really cares that we're there. And But you know, we as a band are tight. We have a laugh. It's a very comedic sort of bittersweet romance that we have with it.
Mm-hmm. And you're out with Berlin,
we
right?
treat it like Spinal Tap, you know, and like to mention that again, but it pays really good, so I ain't complaining. But what I was gonna say, it was 6 sets a day, so that's 6 hours of nonstop playing,
Straight.
Friday and Saturday with a break in between each. But
And this is
that's
with Berlin?
grueling, man.
Is Berlin playing that
No,
much?
no. This is like a cover
okay.
show.
Okay, cool.
Berlin, we do an hour and 20, so you can. It's I
Still a lot.
Picture like 12 of those, or 10 of those. You know, it's all relative. I mean, you know, that's sort of what that world demands. They demand that you play all night,
Well, because they're sitting there all night.
and you sort of like wallpaper.
Have you ever been tipped with the chip?
And you can't be too loud either, because it's got to be just low enough so that people don't lose their concentration.
Right.
God
You know,
forbid.
pulling the levers on the.
Have you ever
machines.
had somebody come over and give you chips?
Oh
As
yeah,
a
we
tip?
get tips and stuff. A couple of crackheads gave us some tips.
What kind of place are you? Where are you playing at? You make
Well,
it
we
sound
won't
like
we won't say anything.
You know what?
I'm not
No,
gonna say
no.
anything about it.
They were nice people. We played Brick House for them, and they flipped the lid. So.
okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're playing some like saloon or something
I know.
like that.
I'm just, you know, don't take anything I say seriously.
but
Some of it's true. Some of you have to decipher it. You have to figure out for yourself.
But when you're playing, you know, to those areas, how do you keep from killing yourself and but still making that music good? Because obviously you still
Not for everybody.
really.
I guess I've been sort of turned into this. I don't want. It's not bragging, but I'm kind of a musical machine at this point. But I still have my soul intact. But there are times when I fear I might lose it. Not lose it like go crazy, but lose my soul. I was an MD, which is short for musical director, for a show in Vegas for a year called Onyx, and it was like, you know, entertainment directors were in the front row of every rehearsal with notebooks. She's not smiling enough. She's not. We're playing Black Sabbath, dude.
Yeah.
Who's gonna smile during that? And then, you know, like all these, it's got to be exactly like the record. And I had to organize all these personalities, egos, and bullshit. And I called it the soul sucker. You know, I was living in Vegas 3 days a week and in LA 4 days a week. So I was flying back on Southwest every week, 2 lives,
Racking up those
lives.
miles.
And it was good money. I had 2 like sort of modestly priced apartments. It was kind of wild. I kind of liked it for the action, but the Vegas portion of it really killed my spirit. So I ended up going back to LA full time, which is where I'm at now.
Cool.
You know, and I go there occasionally. I like, you know, like they say, you can take Vegas for 3 or 4 days, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I was there for 2 years.
I did a show in Vegas for
Yeah.
it was Playboy's Girls of Rock and Roll.
Right.
And it was at the Maxima Hotel, and I felt like I just destroyed my career when I did that. You know, when you know, because you know, I'm a musician and I take myself pretty serious, as most of us do. And,
I don't.
You know, well,
don't really,
you know, when you walk out of a giant life-size picture of yourself in a G-string, singing, you know.
That happens to me a lot, actually.
Yes, but I appreciate it much more with you than with me. You know,
Well, you
with
know-
me, I'm not so happy about doing that.
I happen to be here today, and you asked me about last weekend. That's what I did last weekend. You know, it changes week to week.
And
so,
is there film on this?
know.
Because we'd like to see
What's
that.
that?
Is there film at all?
oh, there's always somebody's always shooting something.
Well, we would
I'll
like to
send you some
see you
stuff.
like walking through your own
There's some
picture.
deviant
and-
activity, and some very wholesome activity as well.
Awesome.
We bet.
We run the gamut.
Speaking of running the gamut, there's something that I've always wanted to talk to you about. You're a Devo fan, right?
You want to see how much of a deal?
Yeah, yeah.
I did not know this about you.
This is
I know it's so hot in here that your clothes
You're
are
wearing a
sticking
jacket.
to you. You can't even be naked. Wow.
This is the first album ever bought that. Well, no, it was bought for me by my sister, but it was the one that made me want to play keyboards. So as soon as I got my first gig, which was the Goo Goo Dolls tour, me and Johnny were sitting there on the bus, and he's like, we're obsessing over this album, and he goes, oh, maybe you should just put that on your arm. I'm like, I'm not really a tattoo guy, but I decided to do it.
Very
So
cool.
It's kind of a token of being professional.
That
Very
is amazing.
And then Wheel of Karma, 20 years later, I ended up on a record with Jerry Cassell from Devo, which was just like, they were the reason I played music. And then I ended up on a record with the guy 20 years later.
How did you separate?
So that was a wild wheel of karma.
How did you separate the fan from the musician? What was there?
I think when I showed him this, he kind of backed off a little bit. I was like uber fan, but then my agent friend kind of warmed him up to me and said, "Dave's cool. He's really serious, professional." And then the next time I saw him, we had a drink and it was all good. But you know, there was that awkward phase. I was definitely a fan on my Heroes album. You know, I had a lot of heroes. I mean, yes, XTC, all kinds of stuff, Pink Floyd, but they were just the one that happened to be there when I was in 6th grade with all their costumes. It was very entertaining, you know, and I didn't realize how dark their message was at the time because it was bathed in cartoonism
Right.
and
Yes,
social
that's true.
commentary, but it was actually a very dark message they were sending out about the regression of humans back to apes, you know, de-evolution.
Yeah.
So I didn't get that till I was like 22.
You're like till yesterday.
But I was like, man, these guys are geniuses. So I was honored to be a part of that, you know. That's called Jihad Jerry and the Evildoers. I did that about 4 years ago. So
Very cool. I've always wanted
It was
to
an
know is because for me, I'm more of a Talking Heads guy. Like Devo, I didn't
Same
Yeah.
quite.
I love
get,
them too.
But for me, it was all about like Talking Heads. And I was curious where you were in that camp. Not that there's a camp, but
equal respect. They're just as innovative. I mean, that whole scene, like 1977 to 79, for that new wave, Blondie, Talking Heads, XTC was one of my all-time favorites, mainly. All that, it was just very good time for music. I kind of haven't seen anything like that since, really. You know,
Yeah.
Clash, London Calling, all that. That was. I was only 6. I was born in 73. Wait, can you edit that? I was born in the 70s,
Yeah.
but I just really, there was my older brothers and sisters' albums, so I was too young for it, but I got it. I ate it up. And I was always an outcast, like when I was going through high school. Everyone was listening to Duran Duran. I was still listening to Blondie. You know, I wasn't really adapted to the 80s as a teenager. I was still retrograde.
Yeah,
You
that
know?
was life-changing.
I'm
for
always
me
been like
in
that.
there.
I'm
Those
always
times
out of
were
my
awesome.
decade.
there's one
You know?
band that kind of reminds me of like Talking Heads, and that's LCD Sound System.
Oh, they're great.
Just
Big Devo fans.
really
Yeah, huge Devo fans.
interesting.
Type in Devo and LCD and you'll get a lot of articles.
I will.
That's great.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, they're great, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
But
because you were saying that there's nothing like that, and I was like, well, there's in my head
Yeah.
LCD.
Yeah, I mean, as far as their whole message and what they were selling and the way they explained it was very unique. You know, it was like the sound of things falling apart. That was how they described their music. But, you know, I've always been into so many different things. I mean, I'm a huge soul fan, obviously. The whole funk thing, like George Clinton, James Brown, that was always a big influence for me.
Right.
Huge.
You worked with Bootsy Collins too, right?
No, I didn't. Would have loved to. I did one show with Bo Diddley,
Okay.
which was like, the guy calls me in Buffalo. It was like 25,000 people. He's like, Bo Diddley's keyboard player, his B3 player broke his foot. Can you sit in? I'm like, hey, I've never, at that time, never played B3 with my foot. Like, I don't know how to do that. I was freaking out. So I just brought my keyboard and I played a show with Bo Diddley in front of 25,000 in my hometown.
Nice.
I was like the thrill of a lifetime. It was like the blues legend. He died about 10 years later, you know.
Yeah,
that was
somebody
pretty
else
amazing.
passed away today.
George Duke.
Great jazz keyboardist.
Yeah, that was
And
very sad.
What a loss.
He was one of the best.
Yeah.
It's the style that I'm probably most known for was like a funky sort of style, and he was like the king of it. So, you know,
Yep, definitely.
maybe someday I could try to even breathe that same air that he had. But he's amazing.
Yeah.
He died today. That was sad.
The Duke.
67.
You,
George Duke.
you work with like so many different people. Like you're just like a background player that is now starting to create your own music and starting to bring that to light. Tell me about that decision.
Well, I kind of got lucky. The Goo Goo Dolls was the first real like serious tour that I did. They kind of got me out of Buffalo. Buffalo is a town full of incredible artists, and the weather keeps you in practicing your craft. You know, the snowstorms, that makes people really hardworking town, but it's hard to get out of. People can get really used to living there, so they kind of gave me like a ticket out. So that's how I moved here. I moved here in 2001, I believe. But I did a tour with them, and that led to all this other stuff. But I was always first and foremost a songwriter and artist, and I was in Buffalo at the time. So I just kind of, it was always there, but it wasn't paying the bills. Same old story, you know, so.
Doesn't matter
So-
what town you're in.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same old
Music
story.
is
So I just kept, it's hard to turn down money. And my whole conflict as of late is like, you know, I'm blessed to be playing music and making a living at it and making really good money doing it. And I haven't had to do anything else. I haven't done anything else since I was 16, which is just a miracle. And I realize how rare that is. But, you know, cut to now, I'm like, I need to find time for my own artist voice, which doesn't pay. So I'm in a situation right now where I'm actually turning down gigs that pay, so I can free up a couple days a week to really dive in. So that album that you have, Connect, is the first real solo record that I put out. I put it out a couple years ago, and you know, I had Daniel Lanois on it, who's like a hero of mine, from produced U2 and Peter Gabriel, and Tony Levin, who played bass with Yes, and so a lot of sort of like my heroes played on it, and I kind of begged them. And
You
they
didn't beg them, did you really?
No, I didn't beg them. No.
Did you get on the phone? Come on.
I got it. They did me favors, you know, the bro favor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got lucky with that.
That's the same way that I get people on the show. No, it's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
same. It's the same thing, you know.
Got a lot of favors in this town.
That's right.
That's cool.
Yeah. So you have this amazing gig coming up, and you do this all the time. It's an all-star, which I've actually played with you several
Yeah,
times.
Max has been on the stage with us. She rocks.
Thank
She
you very
rocks. We're
much.
gonna have her up there again.
Thank
She doesn't
you.
believe me, but I always tell her yes, because I love Max. She's great.
Thank you.
And she
I
sings
appreciate it. Thank you. But you know, there's awesome players that come down
Yeah.
and sit in.
Well, you know,
tell us about that.
I do this thing called the Dave Schulz All-Star Jam. I mean, there's a lot of jams in town at different clubs, but I try to make mine a little unique. You know, some of them maybe a little too name-droppy, and maybe they aren't exactly accurate with who's there on the stage. I try to make sure all my facts are correct. And I try to do something a little more interactive, I guess, than most jams, where it's, I guess, without saying any names, but a lot of them are very kind of cliquey, where it's just all these amazing musicians sort of masturbating on stage is what I call it. And there's no soul. I don't feel like, I want to interact with an audience, you know. So I'd like to think that what I provide is something a little different, and not to knock any of those down, because all those other things that go on are great. But you know, you try to do something unique when you're an artist. So what I try to do is I try to get in people's face, you know, go out there and I really make sure each one is engaged. That to me is more important than the level of musicianship or any kind of credentials, you know.
Yeah.
So even though it's an all-star jam, I still have a sort of band that I use often, you know, and then we have guests that come in that are from all the different bands, you know. So we got Yogi from Chris Cornell and Wallflowers and Buck Cherry. We got the backup singers from Pink Floyd
Wow.
who come in, who are just amazing.
Yeah, I love singing with them.
You know, it's random. You know, Robin DiMaggio comes and plays with us. He's the MD on the Arsenio Hall show. Just you never know. You know, it's just all. It's almost like a double purpose thing for me, because not only does it provide entertainment, but it also forces a networking experience.
Right.
So when I started doing it, I didn't know anybody. I just happened to know these few great musicians that were like letting me do it because they believed in me. So they're like, okay, you can do this thing. We did it at Backstage Cafe, which was Ian Copeland's old place. And that's really where it started. We used to play on Tuesdays for Pumpkin Pie's weekly craziness. So then I just started going in there and acting crazy and doing like Tower of Power, Earth, Wind & Fire, you know, getting people to jump on the tables and stuff. And then it just built from there. I'm doing it about 10 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
I keep
really
it sparse
fun.
too. So, and the
It's
next
really
one,
fun. It's
to
August
answer your
19th.
question, the next one is August 19th at Vibrato in Bel Air, which is Herb Alpert's,
Right, which
the
I've
legendary Herb Alpert's club.
actually sung there a couple of times doing jazz gigs.
Yeah,
which
8 to
is
11, and
really fun.
it's a lot of fun. Maybe if we're lucky, Max will join us.
Maybe, and you know what?
Yeah.
My birthday is August 18th. So.
Whoa! Didn't know
Right,
that.
Yeah.
Okay, well then there's more
I
reason for you
actually,
to.
I did a jam with you at the Edison on my
yeah.
birthday a few years ago,
Yeah.
which was a blast.
Yeah, and we try to change up the clubs because, you know, each club has its own sort of scene. And the Edison has a totally different scene of,
Yeah,
like, you know, this sort of
definitely.
throwback 40s kind of thing. And I like to take it into places that aren't used to it. So we'll do like you know, Earth, Wind, and Fire at the Rainbow, which is, they're playing Def Leppard and Black Sabbath, you know what I mean? So to me, that is cool. And then you get metalheads getting into this funky music, and it's like with their, you know, fringe and long hair, it's like, it's hilarious.
It's great.
But it succeeds because you can't deny the funk.
You can't deny the
be
funk.
anybody.
That's it. See,
And that's
Turtle,
what I'm trying
you
to
need
prove
more
here.
funk in your life.
I'm already
Need more
funky
funk.
right now, not
You need
showering.
more funk.
You're funky with them Cheez-Its, man. Shit.
Right?
Like vibrato.
It gets
even.
a little funky in here with the, you know,
I
the
know.
heat, but it's all right.
That's why I had to take this jacket off. It was
Right.
boiling.
Yeah.
I get to
It's
show off
not-
my Devo.
Yeah, you should show that off more because I never knew you had that.
It's for special people.
Well, I'm
They have to get
a
to know
little
me really well.
depressed now.
Dave Schulz Music.com. You're telling me about the song Everything that we just heard right now?
Yeah, that was written by my sister and I. My sister's a incredible singer out of my hometown, Buffalo, and she borderline superstar, but decided to be a mom, and that's awesome. But she, you know, you can't do everything, so she pursued the mom path, and she's in Buffalo living vicariously through me. So we try to write as much as we can write together. And she's a far better singer than I am. So you know, I can say that proudly. She'll knock your socks off, but she wrote that song with me.
And
So that's our proud. That's our first song we wrote together.
how is that process? Is it you just emailing each other? Is it like you guys are over the phone?
Actually, I went home for that. We went home and sat up till 6 in the morning, wrote it together. You know, I visit there twice a year. I do reunion shows with my old band there, and you know, I miss the chicken wings, man. I gotta have chicken wings once
Really?
every 6 months.
Good
You know,
good chicken wings
They
over
don't know
there?
how to make them out here. They use ranch. I mean, dude, it's got to be blue cheese. What's up with
Yeah,
that?
you're right.
Frank's hot sauce.
You're right.
East Coast here.
That's
mess with
true.
me.
That is true.
I know
I
my
have
wings.
family in Buffalo as well.
So,
They always talk about that, the chicken wings up there.
oh yeah, and the pizza's, you know, it's two things you can't get out here. But
Well, I'm a-
sushi's okay out here. I can dig that.
I'm a fan of the deep dish pizza.
Chicago.
Are you?
'Cause, Yeah.
Yeah,
don't
Gino's
know
and
about
Giovanni's
that.
and
There's a good place
Yeah.
out here if you're into that. It's called the Masa Bakery.
I heard about it.
Yeah.
Haven't had it yet.
Oh, dude, you're missing out. It is the best
Thank
deep
you.
dish pizza in town.
I'm checking it out. That's-
Please,
yeah.
please do.
I heard it was legit.
beyond legit. Beyond.
Okay,
To
okay.
the point
I'm
where it's
excited
like
now.
I fully endorse them. You know.
Nice.
So go
Well,
check
you
it
just talked about the rainbow. What do you think about the rainbow pizza?
Oh, I love the rainbow pizza. I think it's amazing. They
is
you know, they're
right.
one of these establishments. They're so hardcore. They like import their own water and stuff. You know, they're like real.
Right, because they're
serious about
gangsta.
it.
I've never eaten
You
at
can
the
taste
Rainbow.
it, man. It's
Oh my
good.
God, their food is
It is the bomb. Like,
amazing.
maybe that deep dish is probably the best one, but for regular old pizza, this is
Rainbow.
it's real good.
That's right.
Yeah.
I can't
Love it.
eat pizza.
You
unless
can't eat a
it's-
lot of things.
Yeah,
Max.
but, you know, if it's not gluten free, and unfortunately the rainbow doesn't have that, so I have to eat,
Yeah,
you know, their
I hear
other
ya.
stuff. But you know, their clam chowder rocks.
I'll eat some for you for now.
Please,
And
please
there'll be
do.
a day when I
Enjoy
can't
it.
eat it anymore. So you know.
Probably a day soon. It happens to all of
Yeah.
us, you know. And that cheese.
Oh, yeah, it's so
I
good.
dream about the cheese.
Don't make
sometimes.
me think about it. I haven't eaten much today.
I
I'm gonna
know.
go head over there. Let's go over there right away.
I
You
think
get
that's
some
a,
clam chowder. I'll get some pizza.
that's an excellent idea.
We got
an excellent
Cheez-Its,
idea.
we got cheese.
You got everything.
Yeah, we got
You got those
everything.
kettle chips too. Those rock.
Oh,
Yeah.
did those get open
Those
yet?
are the bomb. Salt and pepper,
Yeah.
best flavor ever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are my favorite.
You know what's kind of
Jalapeno's good too.
you know what's weird is
tried those.
I like sea salt.
Yeah.
Just the
Very
sea salt
good.
chips.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah, I'm a, you know, I'm a ex-surfer. Not even an ex-surfer. I still surf, but I used to do it, you know, competitively.
Right, right.
So salt, sea salt, means everything to me.
Gotcha.
So I'll just like, you know.
Yeah, you're
licking the
it's part of your
pot.
DNA.
It's like you could take the chips, but I want that salt. in the
I'm
pot.
like that too. I'm not a sweets guy. I'm more of a salt guy. Like I love really good chips and salsa. Like
Yeah.
that's one thing that I came out here that I really just fell in love with. That LA's got down. I haven't really explored Mexico too much, but it's close enough.
Right.
That the chips and salsa out here are just top notch. You know,
Yeah.
I love them. Addict.
Yeah. What's that
talk
place
about
on
food. Forget
on on Ventura? What's the
Music's-
place? The Mexican place that everybody hangs out
Where?
with the V.
Sunset?
No, on Ventura Boulevard.
Casa Vega.
Casa Vega.
They got great chips.
Yeah.
El
I was-
Padre has better
yeah.
chips, though, in my opinion.
Really, I don't know about that. I have to try this
I'm
out.
gonna tell you. I'm not saying the food's top notch, but the chips and salsa. I go there just for that.
There's a place across the street right here.
Yeah, mucho más.
Mucho Mas. They're pretty good.
I haven't been there yet.
Yeah,
Really
they're
good.
pretty good. They have good peach margaritas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
Can
like
we go over there after this?
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
cool.
You know what I like to do? I like to
I know
just
Dan wants to go.
Yeah,
Yeah, he does.
I like to just go get their chips, and then I like to just order beans, and then just have them cut up a tomato. And you
That's
just,
cool.
Oh, it's just you know,
Simple pleasures, man.
right.
You don't need to be this huge deal.
It doesn't.
Love simple pleasures. In
It's
fact,
so
I
easy.
have to have simple pleasures now because I'm getting older. So
You're not getting older.
Kidding.
You were.
Gorge
You.
and all the-
We all know that you were born in
you
the
can
70s.
edit that out.
Yeah.
There's certain editable moments here.
Well, what's
I
on
know.
your rider? Do you have a rider when you go out? Is
Chips,
it-
salsa, buffalo pizza, chicken wings. It's all fattening. No, I had those rider things with the Goo Goo Dolls, and I'm not really. We're humble now. We just do our jobs. We're like soldiers, man. We just do our jobs.
Well, what about Berlin? Terry,
We got
she's
some
gotta-
riders. We got some
She's
some
got to
stuff
have
in there.
some on there. I know
She's
she
got her
does.
rider. You know,
I
I'm
bet
cool with
she
what she
does.
wants. You know,
Yeah.
we got a new record coming out, by the way, September 17th, which is awesome. I'm really excited about it.
My brother's birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday,
really?
Freddie. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
all this birthday action
I
happening.
know, right? It's all connection.
In Berlin, we're
It's
doing
all
I can tell you about this cool show coming up September 21st at Honda Center in Anaheim. It's with Psychedelic Furs, Blondie,
Oh wow.
Adam Ant.
Okay.
Returns. I don't know if it's Adam and the Ants or Adam Ant, but he's there. The Fix, Sugar Hill Gang
Oh wow.
Wow.
in Berlin. So that's coming up
That's a
September
great show.
21st. It's the Jack FM show.
That
all
is
day.
a
Cool.
great show.
That's gonna be fun.
It's Jack's like 7th show or something
Yeah,
like
those
that.
are the
right?
two shows I would tell you. But that one and the August 19th one.
Oh, cool.
nice.
I'm gonna love seeing you on stage.
Let me know if you want ticks.
Right? Now, is it crazy? Like, if I ever be like, Dave, remember me?
I'll just
Like, I don't know that.
I'll ignore you.
Yeah, he will. He ignores me sometimes. It's like I'll get
Throw
you in a
pizza.
Yeah.
Throw some
Chicken
wings at me.
wings.
It's like, oh, I got a turtle.
But it has to have blue cheese. Don't
Yeah,
don't
right.
be throwing
It's
no
gotta be the
chicken
right
wings up
cheese.
there without
I don't know how it happened that ranch just dominated.
Oh, it's
the-
such
the-
bullshit.
Yeah,
it's like
that's
weird.
a West Coast
it's like
thing.
watery and
Totally
not
West
cool.
Coast.
Like, that's
Yeah.
whatever.
There's a place that I would go back home because I'm from Florida, and in Fort Lauderdale on the Strip, there's a place called Bahia Cabana,
Okay.
and it's like tucked away, has the best food you've ever
Okay.
had. Now, when you talk
Right,
about,
taking notes.
I'm telling you, Bahia Cabana.
All
You
right.
want to go there? A little ring toss, a little,
Okay.
rum runner, watching the yachts
Yeah.
pull in. It's beautiful. Chicken wings with.
Blue
That's right.
and carrots, celery,
That's right.
and Frank's.
Well, there's no Frank's.
There's Frank's hot
It's
sauce.
okay. It's all right.
Frank's hot sauce
well,
is
you
neat,
know
it's
what?
right.
I bet you they have it in the back, but it's not on the table.
Right.
So if you ask for it, I'm pretty sure that they can.
I just bring my
accommodate
own
you.
sauces
Oh,
everywhere.
yeah.
Done.
You should probably have
That'd be cool.
if you have them like in a
Right,
tool belt,
BYOS,
just like bam,
BYOS.
got your also little hot sauce. Steve Vai collects hot sauce.
My kind of guy.
yeah.
I love him already.
He's got an entire
he's pretty
wall. he does some stuff. On a Tuesday, he's all right.
Right on.
But
I recorded an album by Brand Van 3000. I was on their album up at his studio. I never met him. He wasn't never there. So I hung out at his place for a week, but never met him.
yeah, it's nice. I love it there.
Be cool to meet him
I
sometime.
love it. The pool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Beechwood
Little
Canyon.
Yep.
We should
Nice spot. I know.
somewhere around the beach. Should we go back to music?
Yeah.
Oh, that was
God, I
easy.
gotta go eat now.
Right?
So I want to ask you. I'm a huge fan of Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
Huge fan. It was life changing for me watching Terry sing, and as a female singer, and her power on stage and her command.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time when I was doing, new wave music,
Yeah.
and, I'm just like this little thing with a mohawk.
I want to see that. That's cool.
It was, and I think
We talk about
talked-
it all the time.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
cool.
It was because people are shocked every
Right.
time that I say that.
Love it.
Yeah. But for, with Blondie and Berlin and, those bands at that time, when you got that gig, how did you feel? Was it like, God, did you doubt yourself? Did you feel like, all right, I got this? Or how did you feel at that
Well,
moment?
it came at a time where I was playing with a lot of different bands. I was with English Beat at the time. And
Awesome.
I was a huge fan of English Beat. And Terry we did occasional shows together. So I would see Terry once in a while. And this all comes together with the Jerry Cassell story from Devo. But basically, I would see her once in a while, and I would kind of nudge to the drummer, hey man, if you ever need anybody, give me a call. But that was like 3 years before I got the call. So it was just sort of like I threw out the energy. I threw the boomerang out 3 years before I got the gig. And then one day I'm walking down the main section of Austin during the South by Southwest, and I got a call. It was really loud. I could hardly hear. It was a drummer. He's like, hey man, you remember when you asked me about that Berlin gig 3 years ago? You want to come in for an audition? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I was like, finally.
Yeah.
And so I kind of asked for it. Because she was just always super cool and warm, and she was just awesome. She was just a great spirit to be around. And then the guys in the band, I ended up actually hanging out with them when we would do shows together. I would hang out with them more than my guys, because we just really clicked. So, and I wore all black, so like they kind of like that's what we wear. So this works out.
Yeah, you already have the outfit, so you're in.
When you wear all black, you can fit into any scene. You can wear metal, funk.
Right.
Like it's been really good for me to be a chameleon and make money in many different circles. But anyway, so that was cool. And then and the guy that really recommended me turns out was Jerry from Devo.
Cool.
Which talk about double wheel of karma.
Wow.
It's like
When that's the reason I started playing keyboards.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
Mark Mothersbaugh was the main guy, but Mark and Jerry were the two figureheads of the band. So turns out he recommends me for the gig. When she was trying to decide between me and a couple other guys, I had just miraculously had done a session with him a week before.
Wow.
So
See how
then
that happens?
I made an impression, and then that's how that happened.
It's all connection.
So when it happened, it was well deserved, I think. But I thrilled because it was a great group of people to work with. Still with them. So it's been like 6 years, I think.
So it's been a year, and this has been an ongoing thing of myself and Max celebrating our 1 year anniversary.
Yeah.
And do you have any advice that you'd like to give to us, or does it get harder after a year?
After a year of doing a show?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I always consider the show as equivalent to like a band.
Yeah, like
You
a
know?
year with a band.
Oh, man.
Are you start itching? Am I going to start killing him soon? And
Fire
you
up that B3 and have me play behind you next time. This is
Yes.
and,
Yes.
get rid of that ranch in that fridge and put some blue cheese in there, and then get a pizza in there, and
well, that's Miguel's ranch.
and then we'll have a party. Keep it going, man.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
you're doing fine.
We have awesome parties here
Yeah.
at NoHo too. You should come by.
I'm not in the radio business, so I don't know how to give you technical advice, but I can say that
Right.
it's been a pleasure.
Cool.
So-
Cool. And what was cool is you sat in for the full experience, so you are truly
Yeah.
experienced after this.
I'm an enter the shell veteran now. Yeah.
Complete.
so-
But that would be cool to just have Dave Schulz come in to be on Tortoise the Hare and be guest like piano
Yeah, I
guy.
mean,
Right,
like the old
going into
vaudeville,
the
like
break.
the old 20s movies. And then the black and
Love
whites,
it.
the silent films.
Yeah.
You could just cut off, don't even don't just mouth it. Don't
Oh.
even go on the microphone, and
We
I'll just
could do
play
that for
behind
sure.
it. We'll do like silent radio,
Oh, nice. I have been thinking
silent
about
TV/radio.
silent radio. Everyone's like, "What's going on?"
It's awesome. There's nothing there.
It's just
it's so
silent.
riveting. Wait, hold on. Oh, it's amazing. So tense.
Silence.
Telling you, why not?
Right. I think we're onto something. A new frontier.
Yes.
It's
I'm
real.
glad I could be of service.
It's real weird because when I wake up in the morning, I try to go and see how long I can go without saying a word. I like it completely
Oh,
silent.
that's cool. I think that's a good exercise.
Yeah, that's great meditation. I teach a lot of my patients that, to just be silent
Yeah.
and still and float.
I agree. I do that a lot more now than I ever did, by default, because I'm so used to singing for hours and hours, and I don't really want to talk, which is a different thing. But that leads to this, what you're saying. I really enjoy the silence,
Like Depeche Mode.
God, here they
Depeche
go.
Mode said it the best.
Enjoy this. Yeah, so I totally can dig that. I'll be doing that tonight after I get out of here.
Cool. Quiet. A lot of my friends here.
After we go next door for Margaret.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my friend too. A lot of my friends are like, dude, you're so silent these days, and it's just like, like I'm just quiet.
You're
now.
creating your masterpiece, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, turtles aren't, known for being very boisterous.
It's always
anyway,
the quiet
so.
ones you got to worry about, man, because they come out
I know.
screaming.
You definitely have to
Oh,
worry
yeah.
about
You got
turtles.
something brewing up there, man. I can tell.
Always.
It's true.
Always have
Yeah,
something in
man.
the works.
It's true.
Well, dude, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks
Really
for having me.
appreciate it.
Thanks, Max.
Yeah, thank you. Really
My
appreciate
pleasure.
it. And I will come and
Dan, the
sit in.
spiritual advisor /
That's
archivist,
right. That is right.
director,
Denim
producer.
Down.
Everything.
That's right. And
yeah.
look him up for headshots and photography.
The last
and
time I
such as
remember,
that.
before you left, you were doing your Den Dimension website, 13th Denim Dimension. Did that ever happen?
Dude, it's on Facebook.
It's on Facebook.
It's all
I will check it out.
photography. I do a lot of band photography and like music videos, headshots for people. I do a lot of artsy, nature photography too.
Okay. Am I? It's so weird. Am I friends on Facebook with that? I don't even know. Yeah. Just make sure to send me a link so I could put that link on the show notes.
Well, or I could just, I'm an admin on Enter the Show.
You are.
I could just, be like, Enter the
Yeah.
Show, promoting 13th Dimension. Okay.
Done. No, that's
Well,
fine.
what do
That's
you
fine.
know about that?
No, that's fine. That's I condone that. That's fine. I mean, you took some great photos today, and all the photos that you're seeing on the blog are courtesy of Denim Dan. So thank you so
Cool.
much for that,
Yeah.
being guest photographer. Let's hear one song. Let's hear "Inside"